Another super versatile knot or hitch for setting up equipment or quick attachments in the tree industry is the Marline Spike Hitch, which we can see tied here with an attachment, i.e. a carabiner coming through that loop. I'll show you how to tie this knot. Super easy to tie, very quick to tie and untie in fact. It's not to be used for heavy loads though. It can cinch up a little bit, but let's just have a go at this. I'll just pop that bite out there and we'll tie it from scratch and then we'll have a chat. So to tie the Marline Spike Hitch, what I like to do is, if you imagine this rope is coming down from the canopy and dropping into space, I like to take an overhand clockwise loop and then I'll slightly twist that to go up and capture the standing part of the rope hanging out of the tree. And then I'll bring the tail up without moving this right hand too much at all and create a loop within here. And you can see that that loop can move. And the benefit of that is that I can attach something through the loop like a carabiner and then attach anything to that biner. And as the climber pulls this knot tight or pulls the rope into the tree, it cinches up around that carabiner and they can take the load into the canopy. The good thing with this is you can just break the back of that turn there. It's super easy then because you've got a loop that's moving. You just pull some slack into that loop, undo the attachment, and then you end up with a slippery overhand which just literally slips out. Super easy for the climber and obviously super easy for the ground crew to tie. So quick, ready to go. Climber takes it up, object goes out, slippery overhand, bang. So really easy, really quick to tie. There's something to be very mindful about this knot though in terms of how it functions and how you tie it. You can tie this knot upside down. I find it really tricky because I never do it, but it can be used upside down in terms of a rigging application. I'll talk about that in a moment. But if you do tie it upside down and send it up to the climber, I'll show you what the issues are with that. So tying it the correct way, clockwise, overhand loop, up, standing part, so it cinches as the rope goes into the tree. Tying it incorrectly, we're still doing our clockwise overhand loop, but we're twisting this loop back down and capturing the standing part of the running end. Pulling a bite into that. Now the difference here, remember this is going up into the crown of the tree. The difference here is if we attach something in through to this loop here, let's say it's a large saw, long bar, big power head ready to block down, as the aerial worker takes this rope up into the tree, the weight of the object captured in this loop can actually continuously pull down. So as the climber's taking the rope into the tree, we're actually pulling the tail through the bite so that it collapses. That's not a good thing. So it's the sort of thing that you must be super mindful of. And if you're thinking about using it for life support, don't, particularly for that reason. So I'll just tie it upside down again to show you how you might use that in a rigging application. Again, clockwise overhand loop. The line is going up into the canopy here, so we're twisting it back down to capture the standing part on the running end. And we are pulling a bite into it there, so now we have a loop here. The good thing about this knot in terms of a rigging application is if you want to send the rigging line back to the climber who's repositioning and there's a block or a pulley attached up in the tree, this knot tied upside down actually acts as a stopper. So once it actually gets to the block, it will stop. And as a savvy ground crew, you've kept enough tail in this line so that the climber who's moved away from the initial rigging point can still reach this rigging line, grab the tail and pull it across to them, and as they do that, they can actually slip that slippery overhand and bring the rigging line across to them, and then rig the next piece, still using the block in the same position even though the climber's moved. So fantastic as a stopper knot for sending up if you tie it upside down, but you certainly want to be tying it in the correct way. Marline spike, clockwise overhand loop, twist that up to capture the standing part, pull the tail in to create a loop there, capture your object, in this case a carabiner, climber cinches that down, dressed and set, and it's ready to go into the tree. Really great for setting up equipment and quick attachments, or when it's tied upside down, used in a rigging scenario as a stopper knot at the block in the tree.